out for those who want a relaxing and relaxing stroll. So that's the waterfront, and then I guess this is the commercial area, and lo and behold, we are at the Turning Torso already. Wow. I didn't expect this, although I know that we are near already. So it's a nice play of volume, because you have a small massing here and then all of a sudden something very tall. And I would assume the city ordinance will prohibit the buildings around it to be taller, or probably destroy the dominance of this tower. For such a very famous landmark, you have very humble stores around it, and low-rise developments actually have this residential uses. So again, these are residential zones, and I guess this one too. So you have a township type of development around it, so that this building will be very dominant. I'm not sure if that's really the consideration, but if the city really planned it this way, then I guess it's a really good way to create a landmark, to really create a destination, because it doesn't really dilute the idea that this is an important city spot, and the city is proud of it. So noticeably, all of the buildings around it are low-rise. So the Turning Torso has a restaurant, supermarket, fitness center, and a garage. So the concept is basically like a Turning Torso, and then these segments, and you can see it now, are all residential blocks. It's cut into different segments, so you can imagine that this is one low-rise building stuck on top of the other. So I think I mentioned before that when designing skyscraper, it's actually helped to have very different floor plates. And in this case, I guess they just created one module, and this is another module. That's the guess that I'm having. So this is the entrance, and I think they are renovating it or cleaning it. And then there's a water feature around it. It's tiled, but there's no water right now. And based on how it looks like they use aluminum cladding or panels for the facade, and maybe when the water overflows, it drips here. That's why you have some holes on the drain. So this is the spine of the torso, and all along I thought that's going to be like this, like a volume with holes. I didn't expect it to have a side that it's all glass. Pretty striking design, and the interiors, I must say, it's a bit outdated, but since this is such an architectural masterpiece, one that okay, this is the Turning Torso Gallery. It's not actually part of the building. So this is the supermarket that they were talking about. You can find this in Copenhagen also. It's quite dirty already, but of course you will ignore it if you're an architectural enthusiast and just admire the design. So we're just turning around. I think this is about 2,000 square meters in floor plate. So there are some hidden areas, of course, for probably the utility, and then there's some portholes that goes all the way up. So the panel somewhat is standardized, I think. And you know what makes this really special against other buildings that creates attention? It's not just a vertical form that goes up, and somehow it echoes the human form. That's why a lot of designers identify to it and try to copy it. So we're not allowed to go inside, so we're just admiring it from the outside and the surrounding context. So since it's not probably peak season, you don't see a lot of tourists taking photos or checking this out. Just a lone architectural enthusiast. I guess that's it. I think it's a milestone for me to be able to come here. And oh, there's a, I don't know what this is, but definitely an installation, an iris. It's right beside the turning torso. Wow. I wonder what those intermediate floors are, like in between the volumes. If they are a common area, a lobby, a lounge, or a swimming pool, I don't know. Probably not a swimming pool because you have units underneath and it will occupy some space. But and there's an interior volume that is made of vertical wood, and I guess that's meant for them to hide the lobby because this is a residential condominium. So it only makes sense that they address the privacy of the people entering this building. So these are just probably tiles. This looks like granite, and when you see granite these days like this, it's quite outdated already. But you know, who would complain about being outdated when you have an iconic landmark like this? And it also makes me curious how they clean the glass, because in a conventional skyscraper, you know, you have those suspended hoisted things. I guess it's the same thing with this one, except that it's a little slanting, it's a little twisting on the surface, and then you have a pavement for the spine. I don't know what those holes are. And so we are across the turning torso, and there's actually a park, and I don't know if this park came before the project or they introduced it after the project, because it turned into a landmark. But it provides a nice foreground place for picture taking in front of it. Because I remember in Sagrada Familia there was a park, but it's a little crowded and you don't know where to position yourself when you're taking a photo with the building. But here they already addressed that need, so I don't know if that is the case. So that's a beautiful view of the turning torso facing the spine that supports the entire thing. And just to note, Santiago Calatrava is an engineer by profession that became an architect and also as a sculptor, and that explains the beauty and the elegance of his work, exemplified by this building. This is another view of the turning torso from the park, and we're a bit far from it, and it's still low-rise buildings. And remember the mini installation sculpture we saw in the mini town made of modern townhouses. Apparently the metallic dome is also here, so maybe it's a symbol of Malmo, I don't know. There's a rotunda by the roadway, and in the middle are probably a couple or several domes made of metal. So now I'm trying to find my way going to the Malmo station because it feels like it's going to be a long walk from here to where I should be going. And I can see Malmo Live here, so I should be turning right when I get there. Wow, this is such a nice hotel. Oh boy, Bostad Hotel. Oh wow, so it's filled with a lot of vegetation, and then you enter your unit through the door as if it was handwritten, the label of the door, and then there's a bike rack for you, and it's like a townhouse, only narrower, way narrower, again in bare concrete with wooden framing. And I'm curious how it looks like from afar. And you can see that the apartments beside it is also nicely designed, or interestingly designed. Wow, so you have the turning torso, and then this you have the Bostad based on that name. You have that balcony just with bare unpainted steel, and then I can imagine a rooftop again overlooking this area and seeing the landmark. So this apartment complex is really impressive and interesting. So let's try to have a glimpse of what it's like on the other side. So you have the vegetation climbing on the wall, and then you have, you know, just plain stainless steel staircase covered by foliage. And I would guess that the other side is also covered by foliage. Okay, so just very typical hallways at the back, but what's made it interesting is the facade. So it's called Oh Boy Hotel Bostad. What a name. And just across it is a skateboard park. So we're still in the area of I would say Bostad based on the name of the hostel, and we're approaching a nice skateboard park. So apparently that is another hotel. I'm gonna turn right because that's still a long walk. Buildings with nice interesting facades around me, the checkered one, and that's the Malmo Live by Larsen, Schmidt Hammer Larsen. I came from there and I thought that this building will provide me an idea where I am, but it's a dead end, so it's either turn right or turn left, but I'm choosing the unknown path because that's where I came from, going to the turning torso, and I can see a corner there anyway, so there should be a way going that way beyond this building. I'm seeing a passageway, hopefully a shortcut, because from here I can see Malmo Live, a notable skyscraper, group of skyscrapers designed by Schmidt, Hammer and Larsen. We're actually nearby. Oh wait, I'm not sure. No, it's still far. So I have to find a way to cross that area. Oh, it's a good thing this is connected, so I have to go that way. Shit, there's no bridge. There's no way to cross. Oh my god. It's a good thing that my ticket is actually usable for any time, so I don't have to rush for the train, to catch the train. And I remember that the lighthouse from one of the things that you can see in Malmo, There are two guys below the bridge, and these guys are waiting. I don't know if they're going to bring it down so that we can cross. Should I take my chances waiting? No, I doubt if this is going to be operational because they're painting it. So I have no choice but to turn around and go to my route. So when your instincts tell you to go the other way, follow it. It's gonna be a long walk, but good exercise. It's just that if you have more time to do this, I welcome the idea. It's just that it's a bit late, and I'm not in my base city. That is why it's a little worrying. So I take it as an experience, but right now there's really nothing to see. Not a lot of human activities except for those who are biking. But you can see the street. It's a pretty desolate area of Malmo, and again, it's Sunday. Maybe it's a different case on a weekday. And probably these guys were walking towards a bridge, and now they're taking the opposite route. One of the things that I notice here in Malmo is that they really like their vegetation. Like even on a street landscape, they have, you know, flowering bushes. Okay, I feel really lost because the turning torso, and I saw the guys who were in front of me pass this way. Maybe that's the way to go back to the city center. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty relieved. It's still city feels with a nice table tennis. Table, the nice. Wow, this is a pretty nice park. So you have a table tennis as a park feature, and then you have that. I don't know what building this is, but perforated steel. So my battery died, so we were in that place, and then I was enjoying the community park, and I guess that this volume is a community park as well. And I was saying that this is a community type of development wherein, you know, you have different design of buildings and apartments, and they are situated along this waterfront just beside the harbor. And it's interesting that they like a lot of pedestrian areas without cars, and they just pave it nicely, so it can become like a mini park for the residents. So the in-between spaces of those buildings, they are open spaces, either a playground or a garden, and something that I think I noticed here in Malmo. So and again, even in their pocket gardens and their landscaping, they are very into foliage. So somehow I think I found my bearing, and I can see Malmo live, and that would mean that we are near the city center. Probably we are at the city center already. So okay, yeah. Building with a lot of perforations. Aluminum perforated panels. So even here you can see the proportion of pedestrian, bike and cars, space for cars. Definitely the one for the pedestrians are prioritized. And I didn't expect that we're going to pass by it. It's the Malmo Saluhall. So you have the traditional market, and then we have the extension made of steel, again with the rusting patina. So you can see the detail. It's a cable shed type, clearly expressed, and then the negative space again repeating the profile, and they're not shy about expressing the piping, because when you look at it up from afar, it's actually, it won't matter because the silhouette of it is very strong. So the design is up to here. It's not just this area. So the extension actually is a part of the retail. So I think we are inside the University of Malmo, if I'm not mistaken. So so I assume that this is the alfresco dining of Saluhol, and you can see the same expression outside, and this is the interior. I think I want to see the exterior first. I'm just not sure if this is part of the design, but again, nicely spaced steel supports for the facade, and then the steel plating has some corrugation, and then you have random windows. So this is probably steel cantilevered inside, with some lighting. So you have a nice interesting door handles. Okay, I don't even have to use that. So this is vis-a-vis old and new. Okay, so this is the old part of the Saluhol, and this is the new part. So I guess the market was in demand, that's why they had to extend it. So this is the structural support. Everything is exposed inside, and then you just have modules of kiosks for the eatery, and then you have the random windows above. So beautiful coincidence. And then okay, we have a nice building in front of it. Since we were lost, I wasn't planning in visiting this place already, and would expect that we'll pass by it. Beautiful building. It's they have a plant box, again repeating the same material with some wooden seating, being repeated on this side as well. So I wonder how this was fastened. And then again, another view of the alfresco area of the Saluhol. Beside it is an interesting design. I don't know what it is, but again, we're part of the university campus. You can see the overall theme here is rust and steel. And let's look at the material up close. So it's still screwed on the structural, and let's try to look at it from afar. And there's another building by the university. It's called Malmo University. So I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but definitely a work of beautiful architecture. So now we're looking at the Malmo Saluhol from a distance, and you can see the old and then the new beautifully existing together, with a nice architecture beside it, which is a car park, by the way, now that I'm looking at it from afar. And there's probably a cafe at the ground floor, and then car park building at the next floors. So all of these are existing with the existence of the harbor industrial type of a zone in this area. And I'm loving the fact that you have that cantilevered canopy happening here, and then you can also see its pair on the other side. So let's continue our walk, because I'm itching to go back to Copenhagen and have my second meal. in a university campus probably. And then you have a beautifully tiled building, and then we have the Malmo Live. Hopefully this leads the way going back to the Central Station. Okay, I really love the montage that this provides. The marketplace, the food hall, the parking, and then an industrial silo of some sort. So if my assumption is correct, that is the old part of town. Interesting orange building, an interesting sculpture, and I love the wooden deck by the river, if this is the river. Concert. So I guess this is part of the Malmo Live. Even this wooden decking here, so this is an entire development, because this is where you do the performances, maybe meetings, that's why they call it Congress. And it has that vertical perforations as a DNA, as you can see with the tall towers, except that here at the podium level it's yellow orange to indicate probably a different use, as the entire tower is offices. And I guess it's our lucky day to have found the third building that I was planning to visit, the Turnhuset or Turnhuset. You can see the deconstructivist form from here, and loving the contrasting juxtaposition, loving the contrasting character of the building against its old main building. And before we forget, we are still at the Malmo Live area by Smith Hammer Larsen. So let's have a quick view of this building from the bridge, which is obviously modern, with a steel plated flooring, perforated railing, and then now we can see the Turnhuset building. Okay, and we'll try to access the Turnhuset as we approach it, but since it's, I don't know if it's a library or a part of the admin of the building, so we're not sure if it's public. And since we can see the Malmo University building here in the proximity, we can guess that this is probably a university building as well. So if we're not allowed to enter, so that's the bridge that we were supposed to take, returning to the Central Station, to this area. So so you enter in the in-between of the old building, the World Maritime University they call it. It's closed, so you enter through the in-between, modern and the old, and then expectedly, if probably I'm also the designer, I would probably create a glass transition between the two, so that it's an abrupt transition. So you have a steel canopy, and then this is just an aluminum panel cladding in dark color. So I guess this will age better and weather better. Again, the Malmo Live. And then you have some openings on the side revealing a peek of what's inside. So let's just Google later what this building's about, but at least we can view it from the outside. And the detailing it took for this building to be completed, because it's not a simple design, and you have a lot of facets happening. So I guess they also made a physical model for this, and they also digitally modeled it, and then as you approach the car park, you're engulfed by the belly of this deconstructivist structure. So since there's an access here, this is the back side of the building. So obviously this is the back of the house, and then you can still see some windows, and this folds, and then these openings provide the natural light in the interior. And then again, another glass for the in-between space, so that you can celebrate this material, this wall, and you can see it from. Let's try to have a peek, and you can see the brickwork inside happening, respected. And then this storage is probably bolted on the wall, and then they created a separate structure, and I'm sure they provided openings that will connect the two spaces. So I would say that probably this is not new anymore in architecture, but still, to create an architecture like this takes a lot of detailing and work, and modeling as well. So again, if you want a design as interesting as this, eye-catching like this, you need to take the work. And of course, it takes a certain philosophy for you to believe in such forms, to take such direction, and also a client who will execute it for you. Of course, the contractor will execute it for you, but it's basically a collaboration of all these entities to make a vision of a building happen. We're walking away from the Turnhuset, or the World Maritime Museum Center extension, and looking for the central station so that we can go back to Copenhagen. And that is the Malmö Live, and that is the bridge that connects this side to the other. You can see that the World Maritime University extension of the Turnhuset is a good arrival point the moment you reach the end of the bridge. And I noticed that it also has a glass roofing at the top. Realized that I'm not supposed to go this way because I recognize those green buildings, remember? And the two towers. So supposed to turn this way, because, and then I remembered the map of Malmö. There's a river, and this is it. So we just need to walk by it, and we will reach the central station. So I'm pretty happy that we were able to see these two buildings just right beside the central station. Not beside, but near it, and I can see the turn and torso. So mission accomplished for coming here at Malmö. So thanks again for watching.